let us agree that our faith requires action. It requires that we fight for what we know to be true and for what we know to be right. It is our faith that often guides us forward. Faith in the promise of our nation, freedom, liberty, and equality, not for some, but for all.
All right, souls to the polls. I'm going to leave all of the originals down in the description. You see the ad. They want to get black people engaged and to the polls because freedom, equality, and opportunity are supposed to be for everyone. Again, this is the symbolism, right? They're always cloaking everything. This is the compassionate party. We want everyone to have opportunities. They don't say the opportunity for what. No. They just want everybody to have freedom and opportunity to do whatever it is that they want to do. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the next gentleman because he's the main focus. But I wanted to get that ad out of the way. Let's keep going.
I think voting for the vice president because she's black is immaturity.
All right. Well, wait a minute now. I agree. Voting for the vice president simply because she's a black woman is immaturity. Are you listening? Black people, you heard him? Now, I don't agree with him on much, but on this one, there you go. We're in agreement. All right, let's see if it gets better. If it keeps going in this direction.
Is that part of our responsibility to shift from personality to policy?
Come on, brother. Oh, snap. From personality to policy. Now let's hear if he expounds on this and gives us some quality policies that black people can agree with and walk hand in hand with Kamala Harris on. Let's hear him.
What is best for your black children in terms?
Oh boy, I have 5 of them. Well, one who's legally an adult, but I have 4 that I'm still raising. What is best for them? Education and the like. Oh man, I'm really excited. Let's keep
their education. Will the books be banned? Will they be able to get scholarships? Will your son be able to get access to capital?
Wait, no, hold on. Okay, so banning books, I get it, but we spend more money on education than virtually any nation. If you go down the list, and I'll leave the link in the description of what each state spends on each child per year. I mean, 20,000, 15, the numbers are pretty high. And the results that we're getting are historically bad. I spend less than that on the entirety of my family. Like some states spend more than I spend on all 4 of my children with education. And I'm getting results. My wife and I, who are not educators, and we're not qualified to teach our children, according to some people, we're able to get better results than the vast majority of the people that we know because we're intentional about leading our children out. See, education has a root word, and the root word from the Latin is educare, which means to lead out. So when you let someone educate your children, you're letting them lead them. And if we're letting the government lead our children, they're leading them into Marxism, communism, critical race theory, and all sorts of other ungodly practices and ungodly ideas. So banning books is the least of my concern. I want to know what results you're getting. And the results so far, the Department of Education has been an unmitigated disaster.
Entrepreneurship.
Oh yeah, entrepreneurship. He talks about that. And again, I'm going to start and stop. You can watch the whole things in the whole video. I'll leave the links in the description. But access to capital to start businesses. Again, why is it the government's job to give us capital to start businesses? They're the ones that are making it hard. I've been, for the vast majority of my career recently, been in the top 10% of earners. And the government takes an inordinate 35+% of my money federal. And then when I'm taxed on pretty much everything else, it comes to about 60% of my money goes to the government. Now, I've started several small businesses with my own money, but it's hard. I earn the money, but I can't keep it. So I could start a small business easily and I'm actually running several of them right now. But it would be a lot easier if the government wasn't taking 35% of my money and then taxing me on everything else that I purchase. This is again, you want the government, this is what black people have been taught to believe, that the government is going to solve all of our problems. And we've got to get rid of that mindset. Men like this, Boule shills like Jamal Bryant, keep you on that Democrat plantation. But access to capital, if you just kept your own money, you could start your own business. I've seen people start businesses. I'm planning on starting a couple of virtual businesses that have low overhead and eventually moving them to brick and mortar. There's multiple. You don't need. I've started a business on Zoom, and Zoom is $14 a month. You just need a skill and the access to the internet and Zoom. Anyway, whatever.
So I think that we've got to go beyond symbolic elections to substantive voting.
All right, I agree with that.
Something's wrong with brothers who don't know how to support us.
Now, here's the second portion of this clip. After saying all of those things, and I disagree with the policies, but now listen to what he says. You're going to give with one hand, and here comes the taking back with the other.
Yeah. Full stop.
Let's rewind that.
Something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister.
Yeah. Full stop.
So we shouldn't vote symbolically, but black men should support sisters. Make it make sense. How you went from...
And Mordecai was man enough to know that in order
Scripture
for me to
twist.
be a
Come on.
man, I got to know how to support a woman. Something is wrong with brothers who don't know how to support a sister. It was a sister that raised you. It was a...
My mother and my father, or my father and my mother raised me. It wasn't just a sister that raised me.
sister that taught you how to read. It was a...
Yes, it was my mother who taught me how to read. I actually was taught how to read well before kindergarten and was advanced and excelled in that area. Yes, my mother did teach me how to read. Good guess there, Jamal.
sister that taught you how to bathe yourself.
In the context of the vice president, were you trying to send a message?
We've got to be able to vote that misogyny is...
Now, here's the problem. Before I let him go to any further. Why does that mean I have to vote for Kamala Harris? Because a sister raised me. Because a sister taught me how to read. Because a sister taught me how to wash myself. Why does that mean I have to vote for Kamala Harris? Why? Tell me. Because you just said policy first, right? Over personality. Now you're saying brothers have a problem with the sisters, supporting a sister. And don't even get me started. Go watch Candace Owens to see how much this sister girl is actually a sister. But
Bathe yourself.
In the context of the vice president, were you trying to send a message?
We've got to be able to vote that misogyny is still real in our community. We've got to address it head on and not act like it doesn't exist. The reality is if black men had voted, Stacey Abrams would be a governor. And so I think that we've got to do some real redress that after racism, the biggest ill in America is sexism. And I think it's part of the responsibility of this generation to deal with it head on.
all right, so he's saying, hey, if black men had voted, Stacey Abrams would be a governor. But again, black men didn't believe in her policies. So which is it? Can we not be policy voters? Do we have to vote whenever we see a woman with our skin hue? Do we have to automatically vote for her? What if we have two? What if we have two? Like in the case of New Orleans, we had LaToya Cantrell, and I believe it was, I forget the other lady who was running, Desiree Charbonnet, I believe. So we had the choice between two. Which one do we choose? Do we choose the one that policy? Well, I guess in that case, they were just like, well, whatever. It's a black woman. Pick one. You can't go wrong. Well, I think New Orleans has actually gone very wrong with the choice that it made of LaToya Cantrell. But what are we supposed to do? You told us to go policy. If our policies don't align with Kamala, then we're being castigated because we're misogynists if we don't vote for Kamala based on personality. You can't even make... The double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. I don't know why this man is still a pastor. I don't know why. But, well, I know because he's pastoring the Church of Satan. Nah, man. Look, until next time, be on the alert, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. See y'all around. Bye.